it's a very interesting feeling, and it's more of a revelation when a man stands up and says, I was raped.
Yes.
Because in most cases, especially even in the societies that we come from, we hardly speak about men pain. Men are taught to keep quiet, hence
Yes.
Anyway. Some of the things that build and also broke men. And the results of what's happening today with men also raping others could also be the effect of what had happened and what has been preached before. So you coming out gives another woman or another man the relief to say, I'm not alone.
For me, what happened when I was writing the book, I had to relive other moments. You remember I lived a life, I got saved, 2004. For me, I forgave everyone who have hurt me. I forgave my dad. I went and asked for forgiveness from other people that I've hurt. I tried to meet with my victims, you know. Then I thought I was fine. But while I was writing that book, like, I had to relive other moments. Yeah, things came, you know, even the other pain that I had never really addressed. You understand? I remember there is a certain mentor that I have from Soweto. I even felt like I have to call someone. I have to talk to someone. I called a certain lady. She used to come and visit us in prison. I told her that, hey man, I'm going through these emotions. I need to talk to someone. And she referred me to another person, you know. There's a certain young lady, Smamgele. She's also an author. So I had to go through healing. So yeah, for me that was a very interesting period. And immediately after writing that book, you know, that's when now I started now to be able to come out. And you know, it's one thing for me to come out here like with you, but for me to do it in prison, like that, I mean, in prison it's taboo. I mean, people who have experienced such things, like they keep them secret until they die. But I started even while I was in prison to stand before other inmates and tell them that this has happened to me, and you know, if it has happened to you, you will know how what you're going through. You know, I started the mission while I was there. So yeah, that's how even now I'm able, you know, to come out and say that I have had such an experience, and you know, I understand what being raped, you know, it's like. Even, you know, for a lot of time women would come out, this has happened to me, but I can come out also and say I know what it's like. What it's like.
You did such great work when you were in jail, because when I was reading your book, you mentioned that you were awarded in 2014 and 2016 the best speaker of the year by the Gauteng Libraries.
By the Gauteng Libraries. I took it 2014. That's another interesting story. I had to go back 2015 to defend my title. The competition was going to be around, it happens around November. And then in July, I got hit by Bell palsy, the condition. One morning I wake up, my lips are swollen. So, okay, my lips are swollen. I tried to go to the nurse, but they delayed, because when I got to the hospital, they said if had I come earlier, that thing would, like, they would have been able to contain it. So after some hours, my face now is disfigured. Then I was hit by something that we laymen call a mild stroke, but the medical term for it is Bell palsy. Hey, you know me now. If you knew me before that, I'll bring you my pictures. I had the most beautiful smile in the world.
Your pictures when you were still in prison and you were in orange overalls.
I had the most beautiful smile in the world. Like, literally.
The same smile that got girls to run after you.
I'm telling you, that smile, it was $1 million smile.
Okay.
Like, when I go into a room,
yes,
I would just look at people falling in love with me. It's 2015. I'm hit by Bell palsy. I have lost my voice. Okay, I could talk, but like my voice was strange. Like, it was strange. My face is disfigured. That's why I have that. I've written about it in my book. I call it my defining moment.
yes.
Because that's where I saw my courage. For me, that was my defining moment. My face is disfigured. My voice sounds funny. I've lost a smile. And I'm a people's person. You know, the greatest fear of a person in prison is for them to die in prison. Like, it's something for them. It's something that's spiritual. Like, it's horrible. So it's the saddest story. But I had an attitude while I was there that I want, while I'm there, to live my life with purpose, to live my life to the full, to live my life in a way that even when I die there, they would remember how I lived. You understand? So it was a certain attitude, like, I know I want to go outside. I know my future, but my today. You understand? So that's how I impacted many lives, even in prison.
And the most interesting part is when you're saying now, you knew the life you wanted to live outside,
Yes.
and the purpose that you had.
I know.
However, you were still at a point where it was still blurry to have hope that you'd
You see
come
now,
out.
yes.
But you still planned ahead.
I still planned ahead. I still planned, like, my business plan was there. Like everything that I would read was in line with, you understand?
What you're gonna do when you're
Yeah, like the first day when I came out, I went to print my books. The second day I was going to SABC to submit a concept document that I learned to do when I was inside.
you were inside.
So yeah, I was like preparing myself. But back to the Bell Palsy story, ne? And then now I had to go back in November to go and defend the title. And then I remember this thing hit me. It was around, I think it was a Thursday when it hit me. And then every Monday we used to meet for that group. You remember I told you,
Yes.
with the Generation Motivation
Yes.
group. I'm telling you, people like were feeling sorry for me, like it was bad, because for me to be like this now, it's physiotherapy. You understand? It was bad, like my face, my mouth was here. When I speak, like you would hardly hear me. But I'm telling you, on Monday, I was reporting for duty. I gathered my group together. It was business as usual. Then I had a privilege. Then at that time, I could also go to juveniles. I used to go and give motivations. Like I would go even when I was like that. It was hard because
You still continued doing evangelism while you were like that.
while I was like that, like I soldiered on. You understand? And that same year, I went back. I took again the best public speaker.
The best public speaker.
That year again. You understand?
That's inspiring. The
Yeah.
courage and the spirit of not giving up.
Yes.
Just like what the Bible says, for the greater is He that is within me than the one in the world.
That
So
no.
you knew very well that irrespective of how you come as, you had the greatest in you. Do you feel that it did help you to become the greatest man that you are?
Yes, I could say, I will say that, in fact. Okay, I said earlier on that, you know, prison can make either you worse or better. You understand? I think at the end of the day, you know, it's by choice. You understand? Because for you, it might be scary that I stayed 19 years in prison. But I know of people who stayed even more years, but when they came out, they went back to crime. It shows that decision plays a big part. You understand? But now, for a heart that is willing, for a mind that is willing, I'm telling you, there are a lot of good things that have helped me to become what I am. You know, the programs. You understand? The programs from the psychologist, social worker. Like, there are some very valuable things that I don't forget even now. You know, they give you life skills. They give you anger management. I remember there was a certain course about emotional intelligence. That's from the social work and psychologist,
Yeah.
you know. Then education programs, you understand? Like learning opportunities, you understand? Besides, you know, the formal, these qualifications that I have, there are a lot of these short courses, you know, that will come. And then I would just grab, you know,
Yeah.
because I needed them. And then also now, as I told you, I got saved while I was in prison. There's also a spiritual care office. They allow pastors, there are pastors coming in, encouraging us with the word, you understand? So yeah, it teaches you a lot. It teaches you discipline, it teaches you patience. Because there, I mean, some of us here outside, you cannot tolerate your partner. You only live with him in the house, or your sister. There, we are in a cell with 30 people. Different men from different backgrounds. You understand? Another one would say, I want the window to be closed. Another one would say, I want the window to be open. There would be a fight just about that. I remember when we were in Mangaung. In Mangaung, there were two kinds of cells. In other cells, we live 2-2. In other cells, we live 4-4. You'll find guys there. They can stay in a cell, two of them, for 5 years. That's a maximum prison. I stayed in Mangaung for 11 years. When you go into a maximum prison, you stay a long time. Guys would stay in one cell for 5 years without talking to one another. They respect one another. Like, you know that you don't step in my territory, I don't step in your territory. When it's 10 o'clock, it's time for the lights off. When you play your radio, you play it for yourself. Have your earphones. I don't want to hear your noise. You don't disturb me, I don't disturb you. We don't like each other, we don't talk to each other. We respect each other. Like that, you see how what it teaches. It teaches you to live with people. Tolerance. So in prisons like Boksburg, you stay with 30 people in the cell, different people. Others, they are converted, others they are still criminals, like outspoken. Like they tell you straight that when I get out of here, you understand?
Going to do this.
Others they like fighting, others are sweet, others you understand. And now you have to deal with all of those characters. You have to respect one another. If you don't respect people, you suffer the consequences. You understand? Or if you murder them, you are always in fights. It's also a discredit. You understand? Sometimes you end up not coming out. So you have to learn. There's discipline. You have to live with other people. So those are some of the things that I've learned.
You get to learn to have a teachable spirit.
You get to learn to have a teachable spirit.
When you were explaining the sin that got you into prison for the 19 years that you've served, you mentioned that at the scene there was gun shooting.
Yes.
And a man lost his life. You also mentioned that you had a chance to meet with some of your victims. Did you ever had a chance to go back to that moment, that family, and had a chance to apologize to them?
Okay, you know, that's another thing. Okay, that's another, I think it's a good thing that happens in correctional center. Ne? However, I have some criticism also about it. There are programs that they call them restorative justice. And then within restorative justice, there are programs such as victim offender dialogue. They call it VOD. Ne?
Okay.
So the social workers help us to do that.
Okay.
So why do I have some criticism about the project? What I say is a disadvantage is that at some point, especially for a guy like me who was doing a long sentence, they make it a prerequisite for you to come out. You understand? You find that when you submit your file and then you have not done the program, then they would say you cannot go out because of that. So why do I not like that? Because some of us, you do it only because to comply. And just imagine, this is sensitive, I've raped you. And I come and say to you sorry, not being sincere, just because I want to go out. Or maybe I've killed your brother. You understand? I come to you. But now, in my case, I started to start the process when I was here in Boksburg. Ne? But even from back, like many years back, when I was still in Mangaung, like a few years after I got converted, you understand? It was always in my heart. It was always in my heart that I want to go back and, you know, make things right with the family. I remember even at one point writing a letter to a judge, to the judge that sentenced me. I'm sure he did not receive that letter. But yeah, I just wrote that letter saying to him, you know, the day when I was in court and I was asked to plead whether guilty or not guilty, I said not guilty. But now I regret that, you know. I was guilty, you know, there was this thing that God had made in me. And then, whenever there was restorative justice programs in Mangaung, I would go there. But because it was a maximum prison then, you understand? But it was only here in Boksburg where now, at least, they had like systems in place. There were social workers dealing specifically with that. There were external people like organizations were supporting the social workers because the social workers maybe they would be responsible for preparing you. Then people like organizations like Kulisa, they would go now prepare the victim's family or the victim, you know, for the thing. Yeah, so I pushed it. But now, unfortunately, when my social worker went there, the family said that, okay, they gave their side of the story, but they said they were not ready to meet with me. You understand, yeah, because sometimes, you know, because they were talking to the wife, you know, the widow. But now, at least, she agreed to receive my letter. She agreed to receive my letter, and also to send her side of the story. Like, there was things that she wanted me to know. The things that she went through. So she did write back to you? she did write back to me, but not a letter that I could write. But she had things that she spoke to the social workers, and they, she said these are the things that I want him to know. What they went through, all the pain and what, So yeah, that's how it went. So God had worked in my life to the point that I even tried even to do the same with other cases, or another case which is also sensitive, which I was never even arrested for.
Yeah.
And what was dangerous for me, because they even had to call the SAPs, you understand. So that's how much God had.
I want to understand this part. You even went and convicted yourself guilty, openly so.
Yes.
On the crimes that you were never.
That I was never
arrested for or even found guilty on.
Yeah.
You took a risk of even having to relive the jail life if you were to do that.
If we were to do that, you see. Yeah. So that's how much God had brought the conviction in my life to say, yeah, you should, yeah. So yeah, I think it's
a work in progress.
It's a work in progress. Yeah. Another mindset that I picked up along the way is that even though I cannot undo some of the things that had happened in the past, but the way now I approach life, and the way I relate with other human beings, you cannot undo what you have done.
Yes.
But there is a lot that you can still do, In a way, I know, there are people when you say these things, they would want to correct you. No, don't live with regret. But it's just a conviction that you feel that there are things that you owe to the community, to do. You understand? And that has nothing to do with regret. That has nothing to do with being condemned. You understand? But it's just a responsibility that you feel that you have. You understand?
Talking about society, when you were released, I want to know the first place you went straight to when you walked out of those correctional service facilities, and the sense of faith and hope that you had even when it was blurry that you would go out, and how you dealt with the stigma of being rejected by the community, because remember, these people haven't seen you in 19 years, and the person they still know or that you've left them with a memory of is a man that would kill, that would rob, that would do anything to survive. How did you deal with that?
Okay, let me start with the first place that I went. As I said, for many people who come out of prison, when they come out, they want to chill, obviously, family. Yeah, go out, some they take time off and they do what, you understand. But with me, because, even now, as we pursue entrepreneurship, we just radical, There's that radicalism with me. And interestingly enough, when they gave me a date of release, it was not full parole, it was day parole, meaning that I have to go out in the morning and then 2 o'clock I go back to prison. I sleep, you understand, for 3 months. Because there's such a parole, they reintegrate you slowly. But me, I'm telling you, first day, as I tell you, it was work. After 19 years, even the places I went to, after 19 years, I've went to places that many people have never went. Sometimes even using public transport. If I have to go there, I go there. You understand? So, first day, as I tell you, the book was ready. Because while I was in prison, I had already sent the manuscript to the printers. Second day, it was SABC. For me, when I went out, it was hustle. Most of the time it was hustle. Yes, there was that time, especially weekends, with family, My sister's not at work, but during those days, most of the things I would do with my mom, would drive around together, wherever I wanted to go. I'll tell my mom that day, I'm going to KCFM, I have an interview. And you must know, when I go to a radio station, they don't know me, I don't know them. I tell them, I'm Tshepho, I've just come out of prison, I have a book, can I have an interview?
Yes.
So it was an hustle, going to SARS, fixing the tax clearance for the company, going to CSD.
While also working against time, because you need to be back in prison.
I need to get back to prison, you understand? And when I went out, even now, I help people to register their businesses. I knew what to do. I just knew what to do. The people of NYDA, they also used to come there.
Lovely.
And I'll be the one to facilitate their meetings. Like, I'll be so interested to know.
More about
You understand? I was already doing business plans for people while I was still inside.
Wonderful.
I had clients. You
Yeah.
understand? Yeah, so for me it was like, and then this thing of stigma, you know, sometimes I am not fit for, you know, I don't, and many people, they, because you have this history, you see, I'm not ashamed of where I come from, I tell you.
Yeah.
But now, many people, because of this history, expect you now, because you have this history, then you are going to start an organization against crime. Like, I don't use this thing of staying 19 years in prison as my tag, like something that introduces me or
Yes.
that defines me.
I remember because the
You
first time
understand?
I met you, you said to me, I don't want you to know me as a guy that served 19 years
You
in
understand?
prison.
Some people do that and it works for them and it's fine for them. But not for me. Like, I'm not ashamed. I say it if I have to say it, but it's not something that I sell. It's not something that sells me. It's not something that, you know, I wouldn't have a banner with me with orange uniform and chains and, you know, no. There are a lot of people that I come across with talk business. I have a company called Motivation Empire. I do marketing. I do email marketing.
Yes.
I do production, you understand? And then I coach people to write books. That's what I sell.
Yeah.
I have value, you understand? So many people who come from this background, like, you'd have this mindset, like, others, they would speak in entitlement. Yeah, you know, correctional services have given us skills, but now they don't give us jobs. And then you'd say, yeah, people outside here, they don't accept us, the stigma, you understand? So my mentality concerning that, number one, I mean, life is not easy for anyone.
For anyone.
Even graduates, I mean, it's not easy for anyone. So nobody owes me anything. I have qualifications, I have certificates I got from prison. I didn't make a CV. I decided to be an entrepreneur, and I'm sober that it's not easy. So I understand that nobody owes me anything. I'm going to hustle until I get to where I want. And then secondly, when we talk about stigma, I think a wrong mentality that I see from my fellow ex-convicts. I mean, we did wrong to society. And when you come out, you cannot expect a hero's welcome. You understand? So some of the people, they would act towards you not because they are bad, but I mean, imagine if you have been hijacked twice, you have been raped, and now here comes a guy, they say he stayed 19 years in prison for the same thing that happened to you. I mean, you are a human being.
Yes.
It's either you'd be suspicious, it's either you'd go through emotions.
You're scared as well.
You understand? And then you must be patient with people. And another thing that I have seen happening a lot, guys would come out like me. Others would say, I've received Jesus Christ in prison. Others would come out with a degree from prison. And then the guy, after some time, they would give him a chance. Then he would go back to crime. So imagine you come into a context of people who have experienced such things. And then you expect now for everybody to, you understand? So I think for me, these things of stigma and what, I've never suffered them because I had wired my mind in saying, I mean, just give people time. And I've experienced that. The advice that I can give, if there are inmates or ex-convicts who are going to watch this, number one, add value to you. And people will need you. Like, let me make you an example. There are people who are xenophobic in this country.
Yes.
They don't like the people, you know, the Somalians who start spaza shops in our community. But I'm telling you, if it's 9 o'clock at night and you want a milk, whether you like that guy or not, you'll go there.
You'll go and buy.
And you'll go and buy that milk. You understand? Why? Because that guy has a certain value that you need. So that's what I do with myself. Just work on yourself, have value, have things that you know. And I'm telling you, people will need you. People will start trusting you. You understand? People will start wanting you to talk to their young people, to their children. You understand? That's one thing that I maintain. Add value to you. You understand? And then secondly, just be patient with people. Just live around them. Let them see. I mean, they have a right to suspect you. And if you can, even with me it happens. I mean, there are some places like Joburg CBD. One time an old lady comes to me. She says she has a problem. She has lost a SIM card. She's asking for help. First thing I was suspicious. Hey, Makok, I'm looking if she does not have people. It's life.
Yeah.
Because of crime, I mean,
Yeah.
it does that to us. You understand? If you are in your car, I'm selling something to you. Like when I was, while I was hustling, I used to sell my books in parking lots. When you are selling your book in parking lots, you must have good timing, because there's a certain position when you come to a person, the person will think that you want to hijack them.
Yeah.
You understand? It's because of, so I've never had any stress or problem with that, because I understand. You understand? If somebody is scared, give that person time. Give that person time. And once they see that, no, this guy is genuine, this guy, like, he's consistent, and now 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, he's still here. There are no stories. He's not keeping company of bad people. You understand? I'm telling you, people eventually, even the hardest of people, they'll accept you. Yes.
Looking back 19 years at a 19-year-old Tshepho, with all the experiences you've acquired in and outside of jail, what would you say now to that Tshepho Seakamela?
Hey, the first thing I would say, you are stupid. Foolish. You are very, very foolish, my boy. Serious, because there are no excuses, man.
Yeah.
Because now I had opportunities. There's no excuse for doing this thing. Like when you go to prison, if somebody says he went to prison because he was hungry, you'll find that, or maybe he was poor, you'll find that there was somebody who's poorer than him, who finished matric on candlelight and hustled, moved to Limpopo, came to Joburg not knowing anyone, not having residence, but forced himself into Wits University, and suffered all the pressures that I've suffered. And Wits, they were even worse. So there are no excuses. I just made bad choices, and I made bad decisions. So to that young Tshepho, serious, there's nothing better to say. You were foolish. You should have just taken better decisions.
Especially because we always come across stories like yours, but
yes,
most would say I was hungry. I had no one in my life. Your mother was a teacher. She is a womb to every career that you see out there.
Yes.
She shapes and sharpens human souls and mind to
now.
think right.
Yeah.
You were staying not in a mukuku. You were in a house still in a little bit time.
The new house.
The new house.
Oh,
The Lebadala Bond.
Hey.
And you went to a multiracial school.
You will see.
The little bit Model C school.
Model C schools, you see now.
You had all the advantages and privileges and all the chances in life to make better choices. So the word, Yahori, you were foolish, Tshepho.
Yeah.
It's exactly a true reflection of what Tshepho was at that time.
Tshepho was. I cannot say daddy was not around. How many people did not have daddies around?
Exactly.
But you understand. So when that's one thing. Like, even it's interesting when you are in a correctional center, the first step to changing is taking responsibility. That's why, hence, I made all those those efforts to reach out, because you must come to a point whereby you say, I'm taking responsibility for my actions. I was wrong. There was no excuse for doing that. You understand?
I understand.
So yeah, that's what I could say with Timfana. Be more clever, man.
Yeah.
Imagine
Yeah.
at 40 years, I'm doing the hustle that should be done over 24 years. You understand? Right now, I should be, hey, you understand? So that was foolishness.
Yeah.
And it's all about taking better decisions, The younger Tshepho should have just taken better decisions. He should have just chosen better friends. He should have just enjoyed a little more.
Yeah.
And he could have just been
just
all right.
a little patience.
Just a little patience. Then he could have been all right. All of those things that the second level of pressure that you have desired.
The pressure.
Rather than how wrong,
Yeah.
but it's just that
Which actually this teaches a lot of young people that will be watching this, that we need to be patient with ourselves. We need to know that good things come to those who wait upon the Lord. And all things all good things, they will happen at the right time.
At the right time.
But we run out of patience. We have anxiety over when, how, with who. And we forget that when God says, I am the great I am, I'm not controlled by time, circumstances, I'm not a respecter of situations. We don't really understand that until later on when we are older. Now you're able to say, Tshepho, I am fine. You should have taken better decisions.
Amen.
Lastly, what projects are you currently working on?
Okay, currently, number one, the thing that I like to say, currently I don't have an NPO of my own. So what I'm focusing on is building my company, Motivation Empire. So yeah, I'm into, big time I'm into advertising and TV production. So those are the things that I'm trying to build right now. Yeah, advertising, I'm trying to help the SMEs to identify cheaper platforms for advertising. That's subsidiary of my companies and advertising agents. And I'm also, trying to get my concepts on TV. Then besides that, there's a lot of side hustle there, side hustles.
I know
do
that
websites.
You do motivational speaking as well.
Motivational speaking, yeah. It's another business also. It's a kind of business in itself. And so that's why now it's important for us to have, this side economy, side hustles, you understand, yeah. And then I'm also involved. There's another project. It's a non-profit company, but I do not own it. I work a lot with them. So they do youth development. So that's why now at least I get to mentor some young people on entrepreneurship and on life in general. Like now it was Youth Month. We had some online, a lot of online things because of this COVID-19 happening. Yeah, so I'm doing a lot of work there,
Yeah.
I don't have my own non-profit. And I'm also passionate about the Nyaupe guys, He's in Jazam. We talk a lot with those guys. Yeah, wherever I go, I meet them, I stop, we have conversations, Now there are a few that we are helping to go into rehab.
Yes.
Under that, people, the name of that organization is People's Revealed.
Okay.
Yeah, so we are helping them to go into rehab. When they have come to a place, when they say that they want to go,
they are ready.
Yeah, so I do some work there. But most of my time, the difference that I'm making is through my company.
I once heard this sentence from someone, and they said, life is the greatest teacher. And the best teachers are those that have walked the road, felt the pain, experienced it.
Definitely.
And when they tell you with authenticity in it.
Definitely.
And your story touches me, touches those that are watching, and it's still going to be a story that will touch more lives to come. And to allow the Unspoken Truth channel to be your first platform to reveal the things you've never spoken about. It's a privilege to have shared this moment with you. And with that being said, I've got a little present. This is my token of appreciation.
Wow.
To say thank you for your courage, and also to say thank you on behalf of others that you've helped, and those that you're helping, and those that you're still going to be helping. And during our conversation, you mentioned a very special woman, your mother.
Yes.
This is for your mother.
Wow.
Please give this to her.
Okay.
There's a special message in here that I wrote for her to thank her for raising such an incredible man, for her continuous prayers over your life and those around you. We honor such mothers, and this is to say thank you to her. Hey family, thank you so much for tuning in. Tshepho, he is one of the testimonies and stories originally from South Africa that shows second chances are worth being given. This is a platform that reveals that when you believe in yourself, when you have faith even when things are not so clear, God is able. Thank you, and see you soon. Very, very soon at our next episode. I am because you are. We love you. Mwah!